Hello and welcome to One Storyteller, where we are almost close to finishing Fellowship of the Ring at this point.
Yes.
Yes, we are. And Andrew said he's going to be very serious today.
Yeah, well, I have to convince you about a couple things you're very wrong about.
Apparently. So we do a little bit of pre-talking, usually like the day before or the morning before, right, as we're getting ready to record this. So I already know all the points he's wrong on.
Not all of them.
Oh, just some of them.
And you're wrong about that.
But he admitted that he's wrong on them.
Uh,
So I think it works.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
There you go. He hit his cue. And I'm Reagan. And we're picking up in chapter 17, which is chapter 5 of book 2 of the
Yes.
Fellowship of the Ring. The Bridge of Khazad-dûm.
No.
I just have to say
Oh,
it that
you
way.
don't have to.
But I
Here.
do.
Khazad-dûm.
Khazad-dûm.
It's really good,
Yes, the dwarf name for Dwarf City
essentially.
or something. I'm sure it translates to something else, but
Well, I think it's probably something close to that, because Khazad just means dwarf, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know why he has learned so much of Dwarven and not enough English.
Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So yeah, we're picking up in that chapter. Basically, Frodo and company has been stuck in Moria for a bit, and they just found Balin's tomb, and Frodo's like, he died. And then the chapter ends, and I'm sure it's more dramatic than that, but most of the mourning about Balin actually comes at the beginning of this chapter.
Yes.
And so what we're going to try and do for this episode is chapters 17 and 18, because Khazad-dûm is a really short chapter, and then Lothlorien is longer but kind of broad. It's not
Overall.
super like dense with detail. I'm sure we can drag it out for an hour and a half, but we're going to try to do 17 and 18, so that's what this episode is about.
Yeah.
So do you have any thoughts about Khazad-dûm? I know you have a lot of thoughts about the Lothlorien chapters
yeah.
that we'll get to.
Mhm.
Is there anything in Khazad-dûm specifically that is noteworthy?
There's a couple, like, the sort of character moments I think happen early on when they're besieged
Yes.
in the Chamber of Records.
Oh, is that what this place is?
I think that's right.
Okay. That makes sense. All I know is that Balin is buried here.
Yeah, the Chamber of Mizarbel, which I think they call
Mhm.
the Chamber of Records later on.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, it's right there. I mean, Gimli says it.
oh, cool. So, there's some character moments to bring out there. Aside from that, I think there's just some speculation to be had about this sudden foe that attacks
Yes.
them.
I've heard that it's very cool speculation, so we'll have to get there in 5
I don't
minutes
know.
or so. 5 minutes is a generous way of saying it. So basically, it opens in Balin's tomb, on Balin's tomb. It is sad that he has died.
Yeah.
It's also kind of expected
Yeah, when you've made it through most of Moria
and
without
seen
seeing
nothing.
him.
Yeah. And it's been, did they say it's been like 30 years?
Close to that.
Yeah.
I think a little less than that.
Yeah. And so the dwarves made it for like 5 years, and then nobody heard from them,
Yeah.
which is kind of a bad sign when you go to set up a colony.
Yes.
So, yes, sad to see he died, but at the same time, like, everything in the room is messed up with signs of war, and so it's not surprising that he's dead.
Mhm.
They find a book of records, and Gandalf thankfully can't read most of it, so he just summarizes
Oh my
a
goodness.
few different things. And basically, the orcs were there, and they overran the colony.
Yeah,
and-
essentially.
Yeah, there's some other things too. There's a mention that they were threatened by what's called drums in the deep.
Yeah,
And-
well, the ending of the journal is almost excessively dramatic, but I think it
Yes.
works. Where you have the last writer, who I think Ori, or is it Owen who's writing? No, Ori is
Yeah,
writing.
Owen died
Yeah.
to the Watcher. That's where
Oh.
it's called the Watcher from last chapter.
And that's Gimli's uncle.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Rip that guy.
But Ori is writing at the last, and he says, like, we hear drums in the deep. They're coming. We can't get out.
Mhm.
And then that's the end. He's like, he has nothing to do but write his his doom is coming.
Yeah. Do you think the drums in the deep is a reference to, because when Pippin dropped the rock down the well, he heard a hammer banging. Do you think that's the same thing, or is that
No,
different?
because in last chapter, the hammer tapping was sort of like a Morse code sort of thing.
Okay.
Not dramatic, like booming, but
That's true.
little long distance tap communication, I
Okay.
guess.
Hmm.
I
Do you
guess
think-
the other drums
do you
would
think
be
that was-
fine for long distance, but
Also orcs?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That makes sense to me. So, yes, there. As soon as Gandalf says it, he's like, "Oh, I'm not really sure what to do here. They came to a bad end." And then they start hearing the drums, and then the orcs come and
And
attack
then
them.
listen Gimli repeat what Ori just wrote.
Yes.
They're coming. We can't get out.
Gandalf says, "I was very slow. Oh, well." Not the worst thing. There are multiple entrances into their room. and
Yes, which
so,
is lucky, as
Yes.
it turns out.
they end up barring the main one,
Yes.
and then
They-
eventually running away through the second one.
Yes. And it's neat. Here's where the character things are.
Mm-hmm.
Boromir again, he's sort of like Peter. He's usually first
Yeah.
to do something.
Yeah.
Even if it's not always the best thing.
Peter in the Bible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Peter the Apostle.
Just for context.
Yeah, you read through the Bible, you see he's very reflexive.
Yeah.
Boromir also, whenever something's happening, he's going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Here it's a good thing. He finds, okay, we need to fortify this door. He really fortifies the door rapidly,
Mm-hmm.
and it's awesome. Troll tries to break in. He notches his sword trying to hit the troll, which is scary that this great warrior can't really do anything against a troll.
Yeah.
But we get a cool Frodo moment where he leaps forward for the Shire and strikes the troll's foot, much like he tried
Again.
tried
Yeah.
to get the Witch King's foot.
Yeah.
It makes sense when you're short, you have to aim low.
When you can only do one thing,
Yeah.
that's okay. Yeah.
But there might be a couple other things you want to bring out here. But as far as Frodo's concerned, he just drove back a troll with Bilbo's sword.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to survive an orc chieftain's spear because of Bilbo's mithril coat.
Yeah. Bilbo is cool.
Yeah.
Bilbo is cool.
He's already
He buffed Frodo.
he's already saved Frodo. Yeah.
Yeah. Couple of different times, couple of different ways. Yeah, there is a mention of, like, there are orcs and some of them are Uruks of Mordor.
Yes.
Is that, I don't really know what the difference is, except the
well,
Uruks
they've-
are like big.
That is
Is
the
that it?
difference. These
Okay.
Sauron, like there's all kinds of orcs everywhere.
Yeah.
You get the sense the mountain orcs haven't been under Sauron's thumb, so they haven't been like as magically or orcs are creepy, man. I don't know. They
Mhm.
haven't been as like enhanced, probably like bred or magically
Yeah.
augmented. So these orcs from Mordor are like the real business.
Yeah.
But you know something that the movies don't bring out just because it would have been ridiculously hard to do
Mm-hmm.
is all orcs are like dwarf height.
Interesting.
Even the Mordor orcs aren't much taller than that.
Okay.
And that's why you see Aragorn and Boromir just slogging through them
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
because they have like numbers on their side. They're like savage creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Even like here, obviously, and even in a lot of the old wars, they would be able to put up a force because of numbers, even
Yep.
though they're not as strong as elves or men or even dwarves.
Yeah. Interesting. So, yeah, there are small orcs, there are big orcs. I
Mhm.
guess the Uruks are like human sized then.
I think they're still a little
Some-
shorter, really.
Yeah.
But
But
closer.
bigger and
Stronger.
tougher, unfortunately. Cave troll as well. That's cool. And then there's an orc chieftain who breaks in here, and then after him there's a big other thing.
Yes.
The orc chieftain like dodges a bunch of attacks and then stabs Frodo.
Yeah.
Is his thing. So he seems to be drawn to the ring. I'm
Yes,
guessing.
That's like, it does seem that way.
Yeah.
And
Unless he just wants vengeance for the troll's foot, but that doesn't really make sense to me.
probably not. I
Yeah.
think the Watcher in the water in the
Mhm.
last chapter strangely was able to go after Frodo first.
Yeah.
And without much of an explanation, this guy also goes after Frodo.
Yeah. Suspect.
Last thing is we don't really read about any valiant deeds of the hobbits aside from Frodo's foot strike.
Yeah.
But Sam is able to kill an orc.
Incredible.
Yeah.
He got cut in the head, but he's fine.
Yeah.
Well.
That's a close shave.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think that's he's scared. He's just a gardener. He doesn't want to fight, but he's gonna try to protect his friends.
Yeah.
Which very awesome.
Yeah. Well, he is scared, I assume, but that's not really the emotion that's communicated. It's more like determination.
Yeah.
In
Exactly.
that moment.
Exactly.
And so his fear does not cause him to cower. Merry and Pippin might. I'm not really sure what they're doing, but Sam does actually step up and do something. So I think last time, because with the wolves, it's only the big people who have actually accomplished
this is
anything.
the first time the hobbits are really contributing to a battle.
Yeah, a couple of the hobbits. Merry and Pippin are also there, but Frodo and Sam actually do something, which is pretty great. It does say when the orc chieftain comes in and attacks, Aragorn just like uses Anduril and cuts right through his helmet.
Yeah.
I think that's a magic sword. I mean, that's not how helmets usually work.
Well, so
it's empowered to some
Glamdring
extent.
and Sting
Yes.
are both able to like just cut through solid wood beams.
Yeah, they're lightsabers.
Easy. No, they're not lightsabers.
I mean,
but they are of a greater quality than
yes.
most other things. It seems like Enduril is in that camp as well.
Yeah, probably. Which
it's in contrast to Boromir's sword, certainly.
yeah, and that's kind of the point. Boromir is the outsider that doesn't fit in, which is going to. It has been a relevant theme, but it's especially going to continue as they go through Lothlorien. That comes up several times over.
Yeah.
Is he's not aligned with the rest of them, and that's going to be unfortunate. So basically, this is the point at which they decide to run away.
They couldn't run away immediately because they just have orcs on their heels.
Yeah.
They've made them fear the Chamber of Mizarble.
Yeah.
So there's some breathing room, and so they can run away now. Yeah.
And so they run, but Gandalf basically sends them on ahead with instructions for what happens if he doesn't get out.
Yeah.
Which he does get out of this situation, but that won't remain true for long.
He should have given the longer instructions just in case.
Yeah. And after you get out of Moria, go and do this thing. That would have been useful. But the rest of the chapter is just them running away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of them.
And Gandalf specifically stays behind to lock the door.
Yeah.
Use some
as
magic.
he can.
Yeah. That checks out.
Yeah. He tries it. He does.
And eventually he comes down and tells them what went wrong.
Yeah, he got counterspelled. Basically. Yeah.
It was. Yes, I guess that's right.
Yeah.
He did the closing spell.
Mhm.
Some other dude, mystery guy on the other side of the door, does an opening spell. Gandalf tries to counterspell that, and the door explodes.
Yeah.
And so does like the whole Chamber of Records, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, he locks the door, and then the counter spell almost broke him, and the door just opens. And so that didn't work very well. And something about the magic system that is interesting, he can lock the door, but you can still break the door down. Like, that's cool, I guess. I don't really know how the rest of the magic works still, but that's cool. That's nice to hear. So essentially there's this thing, something that's attacking him that is equal to or maybe even stronger than he is.
I've never been set up against a force like that, he says.
Yeah.
Which is...
I almost died.
Like, he's in the midst of, like, running from this thing. He has no idea who it is or what it is. So maybe he's exaggerating a little bit. But if he's not, that's interesting because he was outmatched by Saruman, certainly.
Yeah.
That's why he was detained, obviously.
Yeah. I do wonder here because he'll say in just a minute as they're running away, they take a brief break, just a little, like or they have a conversation as they're going. But basically, it's revealed that this is what's called a Balrog.
Yes.
Doesn't he know that there's a Balrog in the mountain?
No one knows that.
Oh, how do they not?
How? Well, why would they know?
Because they call it Durin's Bane. Like, it's got a specific name and everything.
Sure, people know there's something down here that killed Durin.
Oh,
Because
is
the
that
dwarves
it?
have legends about it. Yeah,
Oh.
it's just a vague legend of fear, basically.
So it's just like Moria is generally bad?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's very odd.
No, I think it checks out.
Did nobody escape Moria the first time?
Well, I'm sure they did, just not people who
Hmm.
knew what they saw or people who knew didn't see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even when somebody sees something and then comes out and tells a story about it, and that gets written down, and you're like, oh, like if you do any research on it, then theoretically you would be able to tell this is probably, if it had that kind of power level and it was fiery and smoky, then I would think it would like
I
correspond
think
to
the
only the
implication must
Balrog.
be people who were close enough to see it never
Yeah.
survived.
Maybe so.
I think that is fair, though Tolkien never says specifically how, the first after they dug too greedily and too deep, he doesn't really say how that went down.
Okay. Well, that was curious to me because Gandalf's like, oh, it is a Balrog.
No one knew
Interesting.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you notice, so there was apparently some trap if they went down the main way, which was the orcs had fire set up.
Yeah.
But they come around the side passage, so trolls have to throw down pillars as gangways over the fire.
Yes.
But the orcs don't come across yet because they all run out of the way as the Balrog just leaps over the fire.
Yeah.
I think Tolkien describes this monster very well. I mean, it's not here for too long. It doesn't have to do too much, but you get a sense of its power and dread.
Yeah.
I admire that for the writing here.
Yeah, it is cool. If they had just pressed on instead of taking time to appreciate and honor the dead, if they had just like left out the main door, they would have run into a trap between the fire and the orcs.
Yeah.
Right? But they took a time off.
That definitely would have killed him.
Yeah, and then they detour. So detours are good sometimes. It's a shortcut that's not shorter, but it is safer.
Which is sort of the whole thing, isn't it?
Which has been a few times there.
Yeah. So there's a couple things here. It's like when the Balrog leaps over the fire, like Legolas sees it first. He goes, "I, a Balrog of Morgoth."
He does say that. Well, yeah.
But he's an elf. He's heard from witnesses. He's like, oh, not about this Balrog, but about Balrogs in general, because they were some of Morgoth's most powerful servants. Tolkien went back and forth about Balrogs a little bit in the old writings, of course.
Yeah.
But by the time he's writing Lord of the Rings, he'd basically settled on there were no more than 7 of these really, really powerful servants.
Cool.
Not as powerful as Sauron, but really, really bad news.
Pretty cool.
And Gimli has heard enough to go, oh, you know what? I'm pretty sure that's Durin's Bane. And he reacts accordingly.
Yeah. When he says it's Durin's Bane, I thought it was just a positive identification, not just a guess.
It could
That's
be.
how I read.
I just don't think it is.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense for him to know it and Gandalf to not know it.
Yes.
I don't think. And so, yeah.
I think saying it's a very good guess at this point. And Gandalf says, "This is terrible. I'm already tired.
Yeah.
I've never been," and later he'll say, "I've never been tested against someone like this before." I guess he already said that with the
it's
door.
not later. He doesn't have a later, unfortunately. So
Earlier,
there's this whole bit where Gandalf does the meme thing where he stands on the bridge.
The meme?
It is a meme.
That's terrible.
It's great, though.
You cannot pass.
It's memorable. You shall not pass.
Not in the book.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
It's wrong in the book.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
They wrote it wrong. Yeah, so he's like he takes his stand against the Balrog,
Yeah.
which is very brave of him to do.
Yeah.
Very cool. And he ends up taking out the Balrog
Yeah.
by just breaking the bridge. He doesn't like kill the guy, but
Mhm.
he does get rid of him. And then the Balrog does whip him off the edge too.
Yes.
So
It's a draw,
yeah,
essentially.
rip. He also breaks his staff when he breaks the bridge,
Yeah.
which is very interesting.
It's sort of, I think it's like, he said earlier he was tired,
Yeah,
and I think it's just, like, he's used a great spike of his power,
yeah,
used up a lot of it.
yeah. So even
Or
if
all
he
of it,
got
even.
out, he wouldn't be the wizard that he was before.
Probably.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The next time we see a wizard get his staff broken, he is very weakened after that.
because the staff is like the sign of power, I'm guessing, or it's like
It's
an
very
amplifier.
It's
or
sort of
something.
connected to their authority and power.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
It's one of those Tolkien magic things, which you love so much, but
Yeah.
it's something like that.
Well, when Gandalf gets rid of Saruman's
Yeah.
when he replaces him, he gets rid of his staff, right?
Yeah.
He just snaps it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you see that will happen later on. This is the moment where Gandalf recommends they take the eagles into Mordor.
Oh my goodness. No, it's
I
not.
feel like that has to be said.
It does not need to be said.
Oh, well, it was said. Somebody said it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Here's a last thing, and then the bit of speculation here.
Yes.
So, Legolas and Gimli know what this is, and they agree with Gandalf that this foe is beyond us.
Yes.
We're not going to run up and fight this thing.
Yeah.
Aragorn doesn't know what this is at all.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably heard stories about these monsters. But he doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Boromir doesn't know. He's like, there's some monster. He still has a notched sword, but
Yeah.
he runs at this thing, which is very brave. Even though
Mhm.
you're not gonna be able to do anything, you have to admire that.
Kind of stupid, but he's trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elendil, Gondor, and then they have to run back across the bridge.
Yeah.
But they make it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here's the speculation.
And
thing.
it should be
Oh,
it should
go
be
ahead.
noted. Boromir tries to attack the troll and it doesn't work. Boromir tries to attack the Balrog and it doesn't work. Boromir tries to barricade the door and it doesn't really work, but at least it's a thought. There is actually one good thing he did, which is when they first enter the hall and they see like everything on fire and they see all the orcs, they're all stunned, and Boromir blows his horn, and then that kind of like
yes.
rouses all of them, and then they start to run away. And so he did actually do
a
something
good
that
point.
was useful. It's the first thing in the entire book.
Well,
That's an overstatement, but
yeah,
like
he's done a couple
yeah.
things, but
Yeah.
it's
so
been
points to
mixed with-
Boromir,
no.
but
He's a valiant man.
good-hearted.
Yeah.
Yeah, zeal without perfect knowledge, I guess.
So here's a couple
yes,
speculation. Is so Gandalf and the Balrog are spiritual beings.
Yeah.
That were among like the first things created by Tolkien's equivalent to God.
Mm-hmm.
Later, some of these guys go down to the physical world, and some of them, it seems like the Balrogs, like were some of the very first people, or first
Beings,
spirits
yeah.
rather. Like they went over to Morgoth immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Gandalf obviously doesn't do that,
No.
but he's basically a nobody until much later he's sent from the west to Middle Earth.
Yeah.
So there's a very obviously cosmic battle that they have going on here.
Mm-hmm.
You have someone who's here to oppose Sauron and some sort of forgotten side evil, because all the other Balrogs at this point must be killed or captured.
Yeah.
When Morgoth's power was defeated a long time ago, the implication is this Balrog was very scared.
Yeah.
Against the wrath of the West,
And ran away.
and just buried himself in like the deepest caves he could find. And then he sort of cut himself out of all the stories where Sauron is in charge. And he's never mentioned anywhere else. So we have to say he's just down there hiding for thousands of years.
Yeah.
The dwarves eventually wake him up, and he's like, I don't want people to know where I am. And he kills them all.
Fair enough.
He's probably doing like some ruling of orcs and things.
Yeah.
But it really seems like, in contrast to Sauron, he was like blatantly opposing the powers of the West. The Balrog is just trying to hide.
Yeah.
There's a parable in the Bible where people are given different talents and one person just doesn't do anything with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad parallel, but there might be something there.
The Balrog is the talent buried in the ground.
Literally,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know if we say like the West parallels Christianity,
Mm-hmm.
which it does a lot, but if it does like completely, then maybe we could say this Balrog could repent.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how this works in Tolkien's mythos.
Yeah.
But the Balrog's terrified and doesn't want to confront the potential of
Yeah.
judgment in the West.
Well, if the
But
Balrog...
he's just postponing things. Like,
Yeah.
he's not going to be able to skate forever.
Yeah. If he's just a being that came down to Earth at one point and then defected to the bad guy's side, are these the equivalent of like demons?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And Gandalf would be the equivalent of angel.
Yeah.
Sort of. And so you have servants, super powerful beings that can choose which way they want to go. And they end up choosing, some of them choose wrongly.
Yes.
And even some who stay as angels for a long time then choose wrongly and then go over. So
Yeah.
that
That's
gets
interesting.
into God's realm of judgment. So I guess we can't
Yeah.
say too much there. Curious how the angel beings in Genesis 6 got killed with a flood, and the Balrog, who's a being of fire, will get dunked in the water and die.
That's
Anyway,
true. Yeah.
Very
Gandalf will
interesting.
fill us in on that later.
That's a terrible parallel, and it's only true if you consider that passage in Genesis 6 to be about angels. But
That's true.
I think it's a funner story that way.
So here's one interesting thing: is
Yes.
if this Balrog is content to like not fight elves or help Sauron or anything,
Yeah.
So he must not think even Sauron has much hope.
Yeah.
I guess
Could be.
because he's probably heard of him.
Yeah.
Like there's orcs from Sauron who've come here.
Yeah.
Um.
Well, I mean, you've argued before that the gods in the West are a lot more powerful than Sauron because he's not even like to their level.
Yes.
And so long term, Sauron's going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Balrog could come out and rule on Earth for a while, but that's
Yeah.
kind of it.
Yeah. And if he stayed hidden, I'd say he definitely has that realization.
Yeah.
But he suddenly changes his strategy.
Yeah.
Because now he isn't hiding down in the deeps.
Mhm.
He's chasing these people.
Yeah.
And I think maybe we could connect that to the Watcher who's after the ring.
Yeah.
And the Orc Chieftain who's after the ring, perhaps. We can't say for sure.
Yeah.
But I wonder, he's like, oh, Sauron couldn't use the ring very well, but maybe I could grab it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how acutely these evil servants can sense the ring. I think
There's something.
there's something for sure.
Yeah.
So that's what I would guess is he's been content to hide
Mm-hmm.
for a long time. Well, not content. He just doesn't feel like he has any other option.
Yeah.
But now he's like, well, the ring's right here. I guess I should try to grab that.
Makes sense to me.
But yeah, we don't have any conversation with him.
Yeah.
He's just trying to kill people.
Yeah. I do also wonder if, because Gandalf did say a couple chapters ago, I had to reveal myself on Caradhras. Like, everybody knows I'm here. And I know that's, like, primarily for the wolves, but I do wonder if that had something to do with waking the Balrog up. Because he's
Yeah.
hibernating, I assume.
That's a hibernating. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of get the sense he's been awake, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Maybe. But I feel like that might have something to do with him having come up to meet them and to do something about them.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
It's possible.
So, basically, Rip Gandalf,
Yes.
he was a cool guy, and now he's gone. And Aragorn assumes the role of leader for the moment.
Rip Aragorn.
Aragorn's very interesting, as we're going to see, especially in the next couple of chapters. And Aragorn has a little bit of a lore dump as we go through. Anything else on Khazad-dûm?
That's it.
Cool. Well, we are halfway through and a third of the way through my notes, so that's good. But Lothlorien is kind of a great chapter that we love so much.
So I really like Lothlorien,
Yes,
and then
you do.
Mirror of Galadriel, and then Farewell to Lorien.
Yes, you do.
I don't think Reagan really likes
I
them.
don't really like them.
You like that chapter a lot better that we just read.
I think it's cool. It's also brief.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lothlorien is a long section that just feels very weird. Like reading through these chapters was like that. I don't even know. I can't really quantify like how I feel about them.
That's
It was
terrible.
just
That's terrible.
there's like an off taste in my mouth after
What?
reading them, which is not just like I hate elves. It's true I do, but like I don't know. It's just expressed really weird. Everything's kind of overly described. Everything's kind of dreamy and weird. The characters don't talk normally. The interactions are just bizarre, and I don't like Galadriel very much.
Oh, I could sort of sympathize with you up until that point. Okay.
I can
Well,
sympathize
this chapter,
with you all the way through.
Well, I hope so. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, this chapter we don't have to talk about Galadriel yet, so
Yes.
I'll hold my peace for now.
That'll be next chapter. So Aragorn leads the party out of Moria, and they get a while away out of bowshot. Then they are very sad for a bit, and then they pack up and leave, which is probably a good idea. The orcs can't come out during the daytime, or at least it would be very painful for them or something like that.
Yes, exactly.
So they need to get as far away as possible, and they basically do. Gandalf is gone, and so Aragorn starts out by saying, "We don't have any hope, but maybe we can do vengeance." And then
Yes.
they
I think
leave.
that's... I'll bring that back up when we come to the end of the chapter.
Okay.
But it is... I think that's really important. End of Khazad-dûm, everyone's weeping, either cast down on the ground or standing stoically.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone is rattled by this. I think Aragorn, he's probably speaking for other people when he says this, but certainly for himself. Gandalf's like the most powerful opposer of evil any of them have ever known.
Yeah.
He just died. And Gandalf thought it was important to go on this mission. So Aragorn now says, okay, what hope do we have exactly? I guess we'll try to avenge evil as best we can, but...
Yeah. And Gandalf was the real leader. Aragorn was the navigator in many ways, but Gandalf was really the one who made the decisions.
And as far as Fellowship of the Ring goes, even at Rivendell, he said, I'll come with you a little ways, but I'm going to Minas Tirith.
Yes.
And
that was the original goal.
Yeah. We'll see.
Aragorn said that, right?
Yeah, Aragorn. We'll see at least in Mirror of Galadriel and onward that he's very conflicted. And I think even before that.
Yeah.
But at least at that point.
It's definitely clarified there, if nothing else. Yeah. They go to leave the area, and Gimli decides it's time to go sightseeing for a minute.
Oh. So here's one thing. You have to empathize with the character's love of history, or else you're going to miss out on a lot.
Yes. Like
Gimli,
just here, or like
just in general.
Going on. Okay.
But especially in these chapters.
Okay.
Because
well, maybe we know why I don't like them.
I think it's part of it. That might help you. We'll see.
We'll work through it.
But yeah, so Gimli says, Aragorn, please. There's Durin's Stone. There's this big lake called the Mirror.
Yes.
And there's a stone that marks where Durin first looked down into it.
Yes.
Which if it matches the song where he has this Durin has this eternal crown because it was reflected in the waters of this really clear lake.
Yeah.
Because Gimli doesn't know when he's going to be by here again. So he wants to see this beautiful piece of his people's history.
Yes.
And he says, Frodo, please come look at this. And so Sam comes too.
Yes. Which is interesting because that's how it's going to end up being later on. The elves call Frodo up into the tree, and Sam comes too.
Well, it's like every occasion.
It's everywhere.
From the council and on.
Yeah. I find it, I understand that he loves history, but also Gandalf has just died, and they are actively on the run from orcs, and this is not the time for it.
Well, probably. He makes it quick, but his...
Yeah.
I'm going to sound so sappy. It's going to keep happening in these chapters.
Okay, yeah, sure.
This is preliminary sappiness.
Okay.
Gimli's heart is hurting immensely
Yes.
after Gandalf has died.
Yes.
And the story of Durin is about hope after death and loss.
And resurrection, kind of.
Yeah, even
Reincarnation.
even resurrection
Mm-hmm.
ish. Something like that. I don't know Durin's stuff specifically.
Okay.
But I think it makes so much sense that Gimli's drawn to this place. Like, generally, obviously, but maybe even especially after Gandalf is killed. There's a place he wanted. It even reminds him of Gandalf a little bit, because Gandalf said, "I hope you have joy at the sight of this place."
Yeah.
And Gimli even brings that up. He says, "Yes, but I'm really just sad that he's gone."
Mm-hmm.
But he's remembering. Aragorn says he's without hope. I think Gimli is taking steps to kind of reignite some hope. It's like there's some parallels here. Like Gandalf's gone, but maybe there's hope for later. Just like Durin's gone, but maybe there's hope. Dwarves believe there's hope for later.
Okay.
And we're gonna see this nostalgia just infuses. I use the word nostalgia. I think it's probably the best word. Nostalgia, this hope, grief, just infuses everything relating to the dwarves. Probably more so the elves. Like that's their whole thing.
Yeah.
But even people like the Rohirrim, as we'll see. So really, it is like you're getting a window into some of Tolkien's thinking. And that's why I think I enjoy these kinds of things the most.
Yeah.
Because you can feel his wisdom and his thoughts there, I think.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense as a concept.
Yes.
The idea that we're just going to stop the journey for a couple minutes while I go and check this thing
I will
out
admit, I enjoy it a lot more when I check out of that just a little bit more than I normally would.
It would,
but
like if it's, I mean, they're basically right there anyway. If he wrote it where they were just passing by it and Gimli stops for a second and says, "Look at this. This reminds me of like Durin's coming again." Then it's like, oh, that, like, there's the theme, and then they keep on going. Instead, it's like, here, let's take a detour, and it's very pointed out, and it's just,
I understand.
It's just odd.
Well, Tolkien also doesn't forget the geography, which is they were up in these high mountains, coming out of a gate, and so a lake isn't just going to be on your side when you're up on a ridge. You're going to have to go down to it.
Yeah, but even, I mean, place Durin's stone right at the at the gate there, right? Or not right at the gate, but as you're coming slightly down the mountain.
No,
like it's right there.
I understand. It just doesn't bother me. I can understand why it bothers you.
The nitpicks are strong with this one.
Yes.
And so, Frodo and Sam are injured as they're going.
Yes.
Or, well, they were injured in Balin's tomb, and they're still feeling the effects of it.
They're finally able to get tended to. Legolas says, "Guys, they're not keeping up." Yes,
and Aragorn's like, "Oh, I kind of forgot about that." So Aragorn's a healer. We saw it before, and he's even using the same, the very same batch of herbs from before.
The Athelas.
Yeah, it's dried out, and so it's not as good, but it is exactly the same crop he was using at Weathertop to help Frodo's stab wound.
Yeah.
So you see that, and Frodo reveals that he has his shiny coat. He's very tentative about that.
Yeah, well, it matches Frodo's characterization we've always seen. Is like if he's had something hidden, he's like embarrassed and reluctant to admit or show it.
Yeah.
If you started having it hidden, it feels a little uncomfortable to have it revealed, I guess.
That's fair enough. And I guess it was like a couple chapters ago that Gandalf said that's worth more than the Shire.
Yeah.
And then
that would make me a little
I smuggled that. Whoops. The last dwarf relic, I guess, is what it is. It's the last remnant of Moria that they have on hand.
Well, that's
essentially
fair.
At least for the company. Yeah. And so maybe that is part of it. But Aragorn's very happy with that, and Bilbo's cool because he saved him.
Yeah. Merry is grateful.
Yes, very much so. And Merry speaks up a couple of times in the next couple of chapters.
Yes,
which
he does.
Is much more than Pippin does. Pippin's just there, but Merry's actually like a real person. And then Frodo looks behind them and he sees Gollum's eyes again.
Yes, so that's something hinted at in Moria. It gets a lot more blatant this chapter.
Yeah, which, I mean, Gollum is wild because he sneaks by the Balrog and gets out, I guess. Like, he just sneaks through all the orcs.
I kind of get the sense
somehow
he's tolerated in Moria by the powers that be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or they just didn't know that he was there.
Yeah,
because even
one of those
in Lorien, he shows up then, and they don't really know what he is, and they're not able to catch him either.
Mm-hmm.
And so, spoiler alert, I guess, for the next few pages but like,
no,
yeah,
I think that's probably all we need to say about Gollum.
Hyper-powered stealth.
Yeah,
he's a stealth 100 type of guy.
Yeah, he can match Aragorn for that.
Yeah, and so you have Gollum is there, and unfortunately following after.
Here's a couple things that are thematically set up for this chapter, and even for some chapters beyond.
Okay.
Basically, all the Lorien stuff.
Yeah.
Aragorn comes here and he says, "Boy, I'm so happy we're here after Moria." And Legolas, you have to laugh, though it's true. Legolas is like, "This is great, I guess, but I wish it were springtime." It would be so much more beautiful, rather, here in spring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It could have been not winter if they had just left Rivendell.
Well, it still would have been about winter by this time, even if they'd left right then.
Shame. Well, maybe if they had delayed another month, it would have been springtime.
Hey, it's thematic. It's thematically important.
Yes.
Because, and we'll talk about this because there's a huge theme during their stay here. This is when Lorien isn't going to get a spring. So I think that's one reason why Tolkien spends as much time with different kinds of descriptions and such things.
Interesting. In what sense is it not going to get a spring?
Well, again, it's going to be more in the next chapter stuff, where we reveal Galadriel has a ring. This allows her to maintain this ancient goodness here. Yeah. But once the One Ring is destroyed, her ring will lose its power, and Lorien will fade. Yeah. And the ring is destroyed before spring really comes.
Okay.
Like right on the cusp of spring.
Okay.
So Lorien its power is done away with right before springtime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's definitely something Tolkien has in view here.
I guess that would make sense if I knew the rest of the books and the timeline.
Yeah, well, it's all these things. Yeah, you read through the first time, you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. It definitely does reward repeat readings. It's true.
Yes.
A flaw and a blessing. Maybe we can say that.
Yeah.
So Legolas and Aragorn are really happy to come here. But Boromir, is there not another way we can take?
Yes.
Aragorn says, is there some better, beautiful, excellent way you'd like to go?
All of them.
Yeah, that's what Boromir says.
I'm with Boromir.
Really?
I don't like Lothlorien.
Oh my goodness. That's terrible.
Yeah.
But Boromir's heard legends about how you won't escape unscathed.
Yeah.
And he's just opposed to when they're leaving Rivendell, he blows the horn. He's opposed to stealth. Now he's opposed to Lorien.
Yeah.
It is this should be a great and wonderful place, but he's suspicious of it.
Yeah.
You'll see people who trust it are able to get a lot out of it, which Frodo and Aragorn, the hobbits to a lesser extent, and notably Gimli, as we'll see in the next chapter.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that makes sense as to why I don't get a lot out of it.
Oh, you know, there are some parallels there. You
Interesting.
need to trust Lorien some more.
I don't think
and you'll get some more out of these chapters.
It is a sus location.
True. It is not.
Yeah, it's not exactly Boromir's fault because he's heard.
Yes.
All he's ever heard
it's
about it in Gondor is this is not a good place. But that talks more to the degradation of Gondor as a trustworthy source than it is about Lorien. Although, well, yeah.
No, you're right there. You're correct. Legolas sings a song on page 355.
He does. Aragorn does give the warning.
Oh, go ahead.
Only evil people
yes.
are afraid of it, and people who bring evil with them
It's a pretty pointed hint retroactively at Boromir.
I wonder what that might be referring to.
Yeah, of course, Aragorn isn't trying to out Boromir.
Yeah.
He doesn't think anything of him at this point.
He's trying to reassure. It's just minorly prophetic in what he says.
That's how a lot of the dialogue goes here.
Yes, and then they cross a stream to enter, just like with the Shire, you have to cross a stream to enter it, and Rivendell, you have to cross a stream to enter it. It's the cleansing ritual, although Lorien has 2 streams to enter it. So
I think that is relevant.
Yes.
You have to. It's very deep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not
the first
like
one.
Profound. Yes, it's a shallow stream. I'm trying to say like you have to really cross rivers and boundaries to come into Lorien.
Yes. I have a complaint about that, but we'll leave it for the second stream later on. Legolas's song.
Yeah.
Boring.
Ain't got nothing on Gimli's song.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. They're just better songs.
Yeah.
I do like Legolas's explanation of the song, which is it's going to loop back around to stuff Galadriel and other Lorien elves will say.
Mm-hmm.
It says there's this elf who lived here, and she was going to leave on a ship, but she got lost on the way, and her fiance got very sad.
Rip.
That's the explanation. That's really sad, but there's nothing else too much said.
Yeah.
It's very thematically appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see when we talk to Haldir here in a minute. He doesn't really know if he can go into the West or should or wants to.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. Legolas does say this is like, firstly, the song's kind of boring. Secondly, the song is not very encouraging because he just kind of cuts it off because he's forgotten it, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
And then he kind of blames it on the dwarves. Not exactly.
He doesn't. He
yes.
doesn't.
Well, he says, this is the sad story when the dwarves awakened the evil in the mountains. And so I don't really think he's anti-dwarf, and he doesn't express it that way when Gimli pushes back a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you see, there is some...
Lorien is incredibly anti-dwarf,
yes,
for the most part. Not like Galadriel, but everybody else.
Even initially, Galadriel is. Not when she... Sorry. This is her law.
Yeah.
Well, I guess specifically her husband's law, but she's complicit in that.
Yeah,
because they're a power couple. They work together, But
I don't know about that. I don't.
We'll talk about that some more. We don't meet them in this chapter, but anyway,
there's a lord and lady, and the lord sets the general rule, but the lady seems to have more specific control of individual rules, and so she'll step in and actually free him later on.
We'll talk about that some more.
We'll get there in a bit.
There's definitely Rivendell isn't anti-dwarf. They're just elves who don't really care about mortals very much.
Yeah.
Which is just an elvish thing.
Yeah.
But
Lorien is
anti-dwarf.
Specifically anti-dwarf and just kind of anti-people. It's very sheltered.
So we'll get to the Haldir stuff in a minute.
Yes.
Did you have anything before that?
No, they just get ambushed by the elves.
Yes.
Yeah. Eastern elves, Sylvan elves.
Yes. So these, Legolas even says, these are my kindred.
That I've never visited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to travel. But in Rivendell, it's a lot of Grey Havens elves or Noldor elves.
Yes.
Here in Lothlorien, Galadriel is the only Noldorian elf.
Okay.
She's the only one who's been to the west. I think she may have been born there.
Yeah.
But she's from the west and came back.
Yeah.
All these other elves are Legolas elves who never went into the west in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And even Galadriel's husband, Celeborn, he never went beyond the sea.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. They are very different. They speak a different language and they act a different way, and they have all their different preferences and stuff like that. Oddly threatening.
Yeah.
Which several times in this and the next couple of chapters, it's implied that if Legolas wasn't there, they would all have been killed.
Well, they would have had a much scarier reception.
Yeah. At the very least.
Yeah.
And
I think probably they know Aragorn's known to them, so I think that would have helped. But he's still a foreigner in these parts. But yeah, Legolas being with them makes a huge difference.
Yeah. They didn't hinder our crossing because they heard that I was singing and they knew that I was an elf,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. This is such a weird encounter. So Frodo and Legolas climb up in a tree
Yes.
to say hello to all the elves, and then Sam also climbs up in the
Of
tree,
course.
even though he's not invited. He goes in there anyway. He just breaks elfin law like it's nothing, which based and respectable, I think. These are, of all the elves that are in the tree, does only Haldir actually knows the common tongue that everybody speaks.
Yes.
Which is wild.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an odd indication.
Yeah, at least the elves in Rivendell who didn't care about didn't kill.
I mean, they didn't kill.
They didn't care about mortals very much.
Yeah.
At least they could speak to you.
Yeah.
These ones, the implication is they don't even care to do that, really.
Yeah. And they never go meet anybody else. There are a rare few scouts that actually speak the other languages and actually go out and scout.
Yeah.
But even so, they don't actually go out and do anything. And so it's very odd. There's just a segregation idea
Yeah.
in Lorien,
Yes.
which is good and bad.
Tolkien explores, and I admire this. He explores both sides of that.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it is very curious. They knew of the party coming.
Yes, because of messengers from Elrond.
Elrond's scouts.
Yeah.
Yes, which spent a whole 2 months journeying all the way to Lorien and then back, apparently.
Some of them, yes.
Yeah. So, interesting. And so they knew they were coming, and yet are surprised. I guess they're surprised at the group because the group hadn't been decided.
At that point, it had not.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not until a few days after.
Because the purpose, this
came
was
back.
kind of a side quest for the scouts.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we're going to have some people coming through here on a very important mission. But really, they're just here to check on enemy movements.
Yeah.
So.
And so basically, we don't trust the dwarf. We're not going to let him pass through Lothlorien. We'll deal with that problem in a minute. And they take a break for the night.
Next thing to talk about, really.
They take a nap for the night. Frodo senses a bunch of orcs and also Gollum.
And Gollum, yeah.
And the elves are not happy about that.
The elves are going to kill the orcs.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, well, I guess you can see why they'd be able to just kill them without any trouble to themselves.
Yeah.
Like they've spent thousands of years perfecting shooting you from the tree.
Yes.
That's terrifying.
That is their ideal environment.
But
their favorite.
Haldir said to Legolas, "We're gonna have to blindfold the dwarf."
Mm-hmm.
And we find out later this is bending the law already,
Yes.
because you just normally wouldn't have a dwarf come at all.
Yes.
And Haldir says, "Well, I guess the bare minimum I have to do is blindfold this dwarf, so he can't, report the lay of the land to evil dwarves, I guess."
Yeah.
And this is where we see kind of the old honor Saxon honor society.
Okay.
Where it's like you don't back down for your personal honor, which Haldir isn't willing to bend his law because he's responsible for enforcing it.
Mm-hmm.
Which overall fair, I think.
Yeah.
But Gimli is not willing to degrade his honor.
Yeah.
He's like, if I'm blindfolded, I admit that you're right. I'm untrustworthy.
Yeah.
And like from a Christian perspective, it's like probably you just acquiesce. You let yourself get blindfolded.
Maybe.
I think probably.
I would fight it.
Fair enough. But Gimli, I guess much like you, is like, if I admit to this, I'm saying you're right about my honor and my character.
Yeah.
And I can't do that. And they're almost willing to kill each other over it,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is definitely too far.
Mm-hmm.
And Gimli pulls out his weapon first.
He does?
Yeah. He says, well, because Haldir sort of threatens. He's like, well, you can't go back now. You have to do what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Gimli pulls out his axe. Haldir and his other friends
There
draw
are
their
secret
bows.
sentinels that you can't get past if you leave.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. Yeah.
So things are getting, things could escalate immensely. And then we have to admire Aragorn's leadership.
Mm-hmm.
He says, okay. And I think this is very admirable.
Yeah.
Just blindfold us all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's beautiful. Like, it's a really sad circumstance that drives us to that. But Aragorn's willing to humble himself, and so are his other companions.
Mm-hmm.
Legolas is very upset, but willing to do it as well.
Yeah, Gimli thinks it's funny that Legolas has to be blindfolded.
He does.
Legolas is mad about it.
Yeah, and I think it seems sort of insensitive of Gimli at first, to me.
Yeah.
But I think it's very fair.
Yeah.
He's like, you've been gushing on Legolas who you've never met. Is sort of the implication in this whole interaction. You've said he's so great. You've never met him before.
Yeah.
But you trust him implicitly. You've never met me before either, and yet you distrust me.
Y'all are racist.
With no reason. No, they're racist.
It.
And Gimli's like, if they just blindfold Legolas, I'd be happy, because that would even their unfair prejudices.
Yeah.
But as it is, all of them are blindfolded until, like, a day later, they get messengers from Galadriel that say, "Hey, you can unblindfold everybody." Yeah. And to Haldir's credit, he undoes Gimli's blindfold first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice for him to say. It is kind of weird that he just happens to have like 8 blindfolds on him.
I don't know how official they are.
We
have 8 of these Lothlorien official branded blindfolds.
Yeah, I mean, that's just...
You just need a bit of cloth. It's not that hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. It is right before that, right? Because they have to cross the Celebrant.
Yes, they do that first.
However you say that.
That is exactly how you say it. Good job.
The Celebrant.
No.
My favorite. So it's a K sound.
It's a hard... We talked about this.
C is a K
C
sound.
is better when it's a hard
It should
cuss
be
sound.
a K sound. Yes, amen. So the Celebrant is the second river. It's difficult to cross, at least where they're trying to cross. And so the elves have this rope bridge that they just throw across, which is just a rope.
Yes.
And they walk on the very narrow bridge. And it's talked about how it's a very narrow bridge, but it works as a road for the elves.
Yes.
Well, I mean, like, why is that there? The last narrow bridge they crossed, Gandalf died on it.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're just crossing another narrow bridge. And it's like, I feel like it's described in such a way it's supposed to be related to that. But I have no idea what that would be. Yeah.
Tolkien is just showing you the defenses of the elves.
Yeah.
Which is they have hidden tree platforms, expert scouts, and they don't have any permanent bridges.
Yeah, but you can also just wade across the river there.
Not this one.
Yeah, no, they say they do. They say they don't cross it unless they have to, and then they do. Yeah, they don't. It's back in the elf bridge section. This is the bit where the elf says "yurch" and then leaves again. That's my favorite elf word. Let's see. Celebrant is a strong stream here, as you see, and it runs both swift and deep and is very cold. We do not set foot in it so far north unless we must. Like, we don't walk through it unless we have to. And
yeah. Well, I don't think the implication is we can definitely cross it by foot. It is you could try, but it might go badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is that not the same difference?
No.
It's much more convenient to walk over the rope, but it's not necessary.
It prevents you from the danger of being drowned or swept away.
I guess so. It's weird.
Okay, I didn't think that was that weird.
Yeah, I thought it was weird.
It's still tangential.
No,
but
you're good.
The difference between saying we don't even step in it and we don't swim across it unless we have to.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're afraid to even step in a river, it must be like pretty fast and dangerous.
Yeah,
that's how I took that.
Yeah. Well, fair enough, I guess. Well, it's a good thing there's a easy fords later on down the river that they can just cross normally. I presume.
For this river?
Yeah, it runs fast and deep here.
Yeah.
But it's not so later on.
Well, the point of this river is like it's a defense.
Yeah.
And so they have, and that's why he draws attention to there's no permanent bridges.
Mm-hmm.
And they use this rope instead.
Interesting. I wonder, because the river at Rivendell, it's not the river at Elrond. The river at Rivendell is a low, shallow stream that can be bulked up to be like a ridiculously fast river. And so it's almost like a combination of the two. And Lorien has them spread out and also permanent.
Yes.
So that's
I think that's
interesting.
what's going on. Yeah.
Okay. curious. So they all get blindfolded and then taken across or taken down into Rivendell. There's this whole bit about how Lothlorien doesn't trust Rivendell or anything else.
Yes. These are some of the important pages.
Yeah.
Where we see Haldir. Because on one hand, he says exactly what you're saying. He says, we don't really trust the world beyond Lorien.
Yeah.
Unless maybe they're from Rivendell. But even for a lot of them, it's still a maybe.
Yeah.
Because they're used to being isolated. And
yeah.
sort of this, now we'll touch on this more later, but sort of this Edenic paradise.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see Haldir kind of tries to have his cake and eat it too. Because here he says, we don't really trust people.
Yep.
But the last thing he says, well, I think we should go through his things one at a time.
Yeah.
I think it's all very rich stuff.
Sure.
He says, I don't know if we can trust the outside world. That's the first thing he says. He says, and in this present age, our hands are more often up on the bowstring than the harp.
Yes.
Which is a good turn of phrase.
Mm-hmm.
And it really drives home this idea. We'd like to be at peace, but if we're watchful or if we left home, it's a very dangerous world. We don't want to leave it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. That's like the first thing Haldir puts on the table.
Yes, but they're not wanting to leave home is what's caused them to be in danger.
Well, I don't even think that's true.
Oh, that's kind of the point, though.
Well, like thematically, there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
But practically, I'm gonna get to that as we
go ahead.
come on down. But
there's a bunch of stuff that points to that.
I don't know if they would be. I don't think you can argue they would be safer if they left Lorien. I think there would be other benefits, but I don't think safety would be one of them. So he says, it's very dangerous. That's why we stay here in Lorien. And I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And then he reflects on the Havens.
Yes.
And he's one of these Sylvan elves he's only heard of them before.
Yeah.
He's never really he's probably never been on anything bigger than a river ship.
Yeah.
You know? And he says some of the elves are now speaking about the Havens. Like, is it time to leave? Like, things are getting so dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Their confidence in this paradise is waning. Is it time to leave? Well, we don't even know where it is, or we don't even know if the West is going to be as great as this.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the last thing he says. I love the beautiful Malorn trees of Lorien. Are there going to be Malorn trees in the West?
Mm-hmm.
Which on the surface is sort of you stupid idiot. Of course it's going to be
That's what
worth
it
over
is.
there.
It's stupid.
But
yeah.
It shows his like naivety, lack of awareness of the West in a very innocent way. It's like, I love this world.
Yeah.
Is it going to have the wonderful things over there?
Yeah.
Which is a naive and even we could say foolish kind of question.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fair to ask.
Yeah.
As long as you don't use it as an excuse, you know?
Yeah.
And it's interesting, in the middle of that section, Mary says, it's right after Haldir is talking about the Havens. Mary says, well, yeah, you don't have to worry about it. I know where that is.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa, tell me about them. And Mary's like, I can't. I've never left home before. So there's this parallel between Mary and Haldir that's being explored.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are close to the Havens.
Yeah.
To the west, crossing the sea, or think about it. Haldir's close mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Mary's close very physically, or he was.
Used to be.
But Mary says...
They've never made the effort to go and see it.
Exactly. Mary kind of says something that goes to Haldir's first sentiment. He says, I never left home before, and I don't think I would have if I'd known how terrible it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then Haldir tries to have his cake and eat it too. He's like, not even to see Lorien? Which that's his answer to the West, or it should be.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. It's all very interesting. I don't feel like I'm doing the best explaining it right now, but Mary didn't want to leave the Shire but he's seeing the beauty of Lorien, and that's
Yes.
one point Tolkien
Well-
is using it for.
Yes.
And Haldir won't leave Lorien, but because of that, he's lacking the beauty of the West.
And the ironic part is, this is the moment where they're all blindfolded as well. So none of them are seeing it.
Yes.
They're just talking theory. And he's like, wouldn't you love to see the beauty of Lorien that's
Yeah.
all around you? And Mary's like, I don't know, man. I'm not able to because
Yeah.
y'all are all haters.
No, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the problem here is, right, we've run into in this book a lot. The Shire is problematic because they close themselves off to the concerns of the world.
Yes.
And they have allowed, they just don't care. They haven't invested in anything.
Mm-hmm.
Lorien's exactly the same way,
Yes.
which is problematic.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I don't really like this section because what Haldir is expressing is, look, we don't, in nothing is the power of the Dark Lord more clearly shown than in the estrangement that divides all those who still oppose him, but we don't trust anybody, so we don't talk to anybody.
Yeah. So
And that's what
he
allows...
has a theoretical awareness. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
There's some innocent hypocrisy here.
Yeah, that's what allows the evil to prosper.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you're
And
right.
so that's what I was referring to earlier. If
Mhm.
they had gone out and met other people,
I see.
then the evil wouldn't be
No.
there, or at least not anywhere near as much.
Yes. I thought you said something about safety. But no, that's definitely true.
yeah. Safety from the
From
evil
racism.
one.
Okay.
The Sauron wouldn't be as powerful there if Lorien actually got up and did something, and
I
they
see.
can see the problem,
Yeah.
and they don't do anything about it,
I gotcha.
which is why I hate Lorien so much.
Okay. Well, that is not exactly true.
Okay.
I think in broad strokes you're very correct, and I think that's what Tolkien is even trying to say here.
Yeah.
Is that it is very Shire-ish.
Yeah.
In that sense, and I think the interaction between Haldir and Merry really
Mm-hmm.
beautifully illustrates that. We'll see later when we
Interesting.
meet Galadriel. These elves are not idle against evil, or perhaps if they have,
Ooh, yeah.
they're about to really change gear.
Yeah.
At the very least, Galadriel is not idle. At the very
Okay.
least,
Okay.
Um,
yeah, I could. Well,
we'll talk about her in the next chapter.
She's fascinating.
But she is not idle.
Okay.
But
I would love to hear your argument for
yes.
that. That's very interesting.
But it's interesting. They wouldn't be safer if they left Lorien more and
Mhm.
did things. Maybe long term, sure.
yeah, well,
But it would be worth it.
They
Just
wouldn't
like
be-
it's just
yeah.
like we've seen it's worth it for the Shire or the hobbits to leave the
Yeah.
Shire. It would be worth it for these elves to do what Elrond is doing, which he's opening up his house to other people.
Yeah.
Elrond is younger than Galadriel, but I think
Mhm.
he's more willing to risk, at least
Mhm.
initially.
Yeah.
He has a greater wisdom there.
Yeah.
But
and it's not like they're just opening up to anybody,
yeah,
right? They keep the writers out. They
yeah.
they filter who's there, but they're also willing to
the elves,
speak the language of the people
Yes,
around them, which is
So
important.
That's an important detail that shows the
Yeah.
folly of their isolation.
Yes.
But elves need to help fight for this world
Mm-hmm.
and then leave,
Yeah.
or just leave.
Yeah.
You know.
They are trying to preserve the beauty that they have, and they just
Mhm.
don't. I don't know if they don't forecast that it's not going to exist forever or whatever it is, but they're not willing to actually get out and do anything to fight for the beauty that they have.
Well, okay. This might be too pedantic,
Okay.
but I think they are observably fighting for the beauty they do have, but they're not willing to do it for other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the argument is if Sauron has gotten so powerful because the peoples are not united in fighting against him.
So
Right.
I agree that it's short-sighted,
Yeah.
but they are fighting for Lorien.
Even though Lorien is kept beautiful, nothing else is, and everything else is getting worse, which
Yes.
is what Elrond sees,
Mm-hmm.
that eventually evil's going to surround even this place and then crush it.
Yes.
And so long term, they are not protecting themselves. Like
Yeah.
nothing is kept beautiful
Long term.
by their decisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
They clean up elves who walk into their borders, but or
evil.
orcs. Sorry, they
Yeah.
clean up orcs who walk into their
Mhm.
borders, and that's it.
Yes. Yes.
And
Okay.
that's like.
I think we
Yeah.
agree. We're just getting
Yeah.
caught up on some.
I also don't
nitpick
like
there.
at the end of this chapter. There's this watchtower, and they climb up and they see the watchtower, and Haldir like points out all these different things, and then he points out right next door,
Yes.
metaphorically, there's Dol Guldur, which is now infested with evil, and it's worse than it ever has been, which is wild because Sauron used to be there, but it's 7 times worse than it ever has been. I guess everybody else will deal with it.
Yeah.
Then like, oh,
That is you taking a step too far.
okay,
Though I understand why you say that.
Okay.
He offers a hint of this.
mm-hmm.
He says the darkness there does not. It tries to understand Lorien, but it can't. But Lorien understands it. Maybe, and to your point, perhaps they've tolerated it too long.
Yeah.
I think that's very true. But we're gonna see in this book they do stop doing that.
Okay.
And I think perhaps you could argue that Galadriel has been cooking up something for Dol Guldur. Because shortly after the Fellowship leaves, the appendices will describe Lorien is attacked 3 times
Okay.
from Dol Guldur.
Like after this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And as after withstanding and like kind of absorbing those blows, they do a counterpunch.
Okay.
And they do. Galadriel is described as throwing down all the walls of Dol Guldur.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So you're right up into a point. And certainly we can say they should have done something earlier.
Okay.
But it is a more complex picture.
So eventually they will deal with it
Like, very shortly,
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
when they are threatened.
You could argue that.
Okay.
I think once we see what Celeborn and Galadriel in the next chapter, the implication I think is it's a tactical move to
Okay.
absorb some of the attacks first, but maybe not.
Okay. That. Yeah. Yeah. Regardless, they should have stepped in and dealt with it
That
when
we
the
agree
problem
on,
was little. It's the same. It's the same thing that Gandalf should have pursued.
Yeah, but
Sauron.
he realized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was advised against it in the White Council, which Galadriel is also a part of because she's the one who originated it. But that's a point for the next chapter.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's been Lorien is also facing the same problem of delay.
Yeah.
That is leading
Everyone is.
yeah, maybe complacence, maybe it's planning. I
Yeah.
guess Rivendell had some planning
Yeah.
that ended up delaying.
The problem comes from the initial and certain reluctance in putting off
Okay.
delaying.
Yeah.
I think as we get closer here, it kind of changes some, but
Yeah. And so,
initially for sure.
yeah, that's my real problem with Lorien is like it's displayed as this beautiful place
And-
and it's very much like a heaven on earth,
I think that's exactly.
but
the
it
point.
is empty. Like they should be doing something
Mhm.
and they're not. And so I guess it is kind of Edenic in a way
Yeah.
of
I think.
Yeah.
I think you get a very wonderful picture when you think about both sides of that.
mhm.
That it is very Edenic, like actually.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's not perfect. Like you got a bunch of racist isolationists.
Yeah.
Racist xenophobes here.
Yeah.
Um,
It's great except for the people. Most of them.
Well, I know that's kind of facetious, but that is a step too far.
Yeah.
So there's folly here,
Mm-hmm.
but there is some real beauty.
Yeah.
Like they shouldn't have stopped here. Like Galadriel can't use her power to make everything like this.
Yeah, true.
So she's preserving some stuff. You can argue there's some selfishness there, but there's some good that comes from this. Like the Fellowship is really able to recover in a land like this.
Yeah.
We're almost done. There's one last point I want to bring up.
Yeah.
Do you have anything
Well,
else here?
it's Frodo wanted to protect his home, and so he left the Shire.
Yeah.
Lorien wants to protect their home, and so they sit in Lorien. And it's
Yeah.
like,
They have.
bruh.
No.
Yeah. So it's just it's weird to me
I think
because
that's
it feels
fair,
like it feels like Tolkien is idealizing this place in many ways.
Yes.
And in my head, that means he's idealizing the idea of protecting the beautiful thing by sitting and not like doing anything for the world around you, which just runs contrary to everything else he's said so far.
Well, we'll bring this out in the next couple chapters, but pay attention to everything with Galadriel.
Okay.
I think that's Tolkien's synthesis of these two opposing halves.
Okay.
Because Galadriel, if she hadn't been planning to do something
Very
before,
odd person.
she does after talking to Frodo.
Okay.
And I think that's the synthesis here between you have a Eden on Earth.
That can make a little bit of sense.
I think it does. Like, Tolkien is not just completely changing tune here.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but it kind of read like it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Okay.
But I think the Haldir Merry interaction shows Haldir's hypocrisy.
Cool.
He's a wise dude, but he doesn't see how
except for some things.
He doesn't see what he's saying, how it applies to him. Yeah. You know. And that's the biggest danger if you're a wise person, really.
Cool. Then is your last point on the Aragorn thing? Yes. Go ahead. At the end of the chapter, Aragorn says some stuff.
Oh my goodness. I already started talking. So I usually cry some points when I'm reading through Lord of the Rings. This is the first time on this read through where he says Arwen, Vanamilda, Namari, and then here is the heart of Elvendom on earth. Here my heart dwells ever, unless there be a light beyond the dark roads that we still must tread. You and I, come with me. And taking Frodo's hand in his, he left the hill of Cairn Amroth, and he came there never again, as a living man.
Yes, that's a statement.
There's a lot going on there.
That is a way to end the chapter.
But I love it. It is beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So Aragorn at the beginning of this chapter said, "We're without hope. We only have a chance of getting vengeance for evil."
Mm-hmm.
I think
vengeance against evil. Yeah.
He does not. I think the implication is he does not think there's a chance for victory now that Gandalf is gone. Mm-hmm. Like his confidence has been shattered after that.
Yeah.
Just like Merry is wishing he'd never left home right after the Balrog.
Yeah.
Like that's shaking people up.
Yeah.
And that's where we side point to my last point is that's one of the values of Lorien.
Okay.
It is able to soothe the pain of fire and darkness.
It does do that.
Yeah. All right. Aragorn, he's standing on this hill, and Tolkien he said he thought, man, I want a chapter that told the introductory meeting of Aragorn and Arwen.
Mm-hmm.
But he thought it ruined the pacing for the Fellowship of the Ring.
Fair enough.
So he put it into the appendices.
Classic.
Yeah. But we've had hints of this. We know this even if it's not developed a whole lot. But we see Aragorn looks younger because he's thinking about when he first met Arwen here 38 years ago, I believe it is. And
okay.
So Arwen, appendices say she would travel back and forth between Rivendell and Lothlorien because her mother is from Lothlorien.
Okay.
So she would hang out with her grandma Galadriel.
Classic. Yeah.
But so on one really perilous journey, Aragorn finds himself in Lorien and finds Arwen, which is very much like the Baron and Tenuviel story.
Mm-hmm. Baron and Luthien.
Yeah, she has both those names. Yeah,
Bro.
Luthien. Yeah. But he says, Arwen, my beloved, farewell.
How do you know Elvish?
I looked it up. Okay.
Okay.
But that's what that phrase means.
Oh, okay.
So he's saying farewell to Arwen, which I used to inform what he says to Frodo afterward. I'm not really sure what to do with the first line, except he appreciates this land that
it is the most
such
elf
beauty.
of all the lands.
Yeah.
Which is
true. Yeah.
Racist.
No, what in the world? Oh, I see.
That's the most elfin
He's
thing
not
there
thinking
is.
about that part.
But he might be.
But he says, my heart dwells here ever. It's like, this is great for elves, but what really matters to me is my heart is here.
Okay.
Which he's thinking about the first time he met Arwen.
Okay.
My heart will be here forever, unless there's a light beyond the dark roads that we must tread.
Mm-hmm.
And I might be going too greedily and too deep with
Go-
this statement,
Go ahead.
but I do feel confident about this. When he's leaving Rivendell, and the appendices clarify this. I just have to keep referencing the appendices.
I'll trust you for
For now.
700 pages from now.
The marriage agreement he made with Elrond concerning, like, I want to marry your daughter, Arwen, is, okay, become king, help defeat Sauron, then
Yeah.
you can marry my daughter, which is oof.
Understandable.
Easy. Yeah, right. And Aragorn's like, okay, bet. I can do that. But after Gandalf falls, and we'll see in the next chapter, he has the burden of leadership in addition to his confidence being shattered. He's like, okay, if Gandalf can't defeat evil, can I?
Yeah.
I think that is a very fair implication from those events.
Mm-hmm.
And so he comes to where he met Arwen. And he's sad. There's like, for Tolkien, there's always grief with joy.
Okay. Yeah.
When you're not in heaven, there's always grief with joy.
Makes sense.
But he says, I'll reflect on the first time I met Arwen, even though I don't know if I'll ever see her again, which
Mhm.
is different from the confidence he had leaving Rivendell.
Okay.
Which is very tragic and beautiful. And it shows like his dedication to do the right thing, even so.
Mhm.
Like, you could have argued up to this point, well, he's just being, and I hate that people would say it like this, what they would. Aragorn's just being a simp. He's just fighting Sauron because he wants to get married or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, true, not a bad motivation anyhow, but it's not just that, because
No.
he's willing, he could run back home.
Yeah.
He said he could abandon the fellowship, but duty keeps him there even though he doesn't have hope that he's going to win or see Arwen again.
Yeah.
Which is very heavy. I think really, like, tragically beautiful.
Yeah.
He's hopeless. He doubts if there will be light at the end. But
Yeah.
he's going to hold on to this fair memory of the past and just do the best he can right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, if only you didn't have to wait until the end of Return of the King to find out that that's what's happening.
Hey, I'm pretty sure that's what's happening.
That makes sense of some stuff that's in the next chapter,
Yeah.
which we briefly talked about yesterday. I think it was yesterday. But,
Mhm.
that makes some sense of
Okay.
other things that he'll end up saying. But that's not the sense I get from reading the book, because I don't have the backstory, and also I don't know Elvish.
Yeah, well, you should look up the Elvish when you find it.
I should just Google what the Elvish is.
Yeah.
That's not how Tolkien wrote the book, though. People didn't look up the Elvish.
Okay.
You should be able to read through the book and get this stuff, and not just.
If there's any criticism, it's that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's too deep, too thoughtful. I need everything handed to me on a silver platter. I am dumb. Interesting. Okay. When it says that he never came there again as a living man, is that just a poetic way of saying he never returns to Lorien, or is
Yeah.
that he comes back as a ghost? I mean,
Well, we could unpack it a lot.
Yeah.
Here's what I think Tolkien is doing. Aragorn has just committed
tax fraud.
to doing his duty,
Yeah.
even though he's not sure he'll find love.
Yeah.
And so Tolkien doesn't say what happens. He says, well, he never came there again, which is it. Did he lose that hope
Mm-hmm.
of the past, or did he find the future he was talking about?
I guess we'll have to wait and
Yeah.
see.
So I think that's the force of the
Interesting.
statement there.
Okay. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Obviously, it's a place that's been in his heart and mind a whole lot.
Yeah.
But he hadn't been there for a long time, and he's never going to be there physically again.
Yeah.
So it is
Understandable.
dramatic and beautiful, I say.
It is dramatic. I'll give you that one.
Okay.
Very interesting.
But
Okay.
now is definitely time to wrap it up, I suppose.
I think we should. This might be the longest one yet.
It's close.
Yeah. So next time we're maybe going to do chapters 19 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
20 is short. 19 is weird, and so
Yeah.
we'll.
I think we can make it a bit shorter than this one,
Well,
unless you have a
never
lot.
say.
Oh yeah, it's
I
true.
think we can do something. That tends to end up pretty poorly. So we'll see. We'll see. But next time we'll plan for chapter 19 and 20, and I guess by the title of the next episode, you will understand what we actually got to.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed and benefited something from this, and curious things to think about, shall we say. But we'll pause there. See you next time.
Namari.